Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take complex sources, dig through them, and really pull out the essential story for you.
Exactly. No fluff, just the core insights.
And today we're diving into a really disturbing one, I have to say, the case of Edmund Kemper.
Yeah, definitely one of the most studied and frankly chilling cases out there.
So you shared these sources and they highlight this central puzzle, right? This guy, they called him the co-ed killer. Huge man, like 6'9".
A giant, yeah.
But he spoke like a professor, apparently. Super articulate. And his IQ tested at 145.
That's gifted range. Seriously high intelligence. Like top scientists, inventors.
Right. But he was also this infamous serial killer. The FBI even called him a textbook case. It's just, how do those two things exist in one person?
Well, that's exactly what we need to trace today.
Yeah.
How does a kid who was relentlessly verbally abused grow into this incredibly intelligent but calculating killer? Someone driven by this just overwhelming rage. That's our mission here.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning then. The foundation of that rage. His childhood sounds, well, toxic doesn't really cover it.
No, it doesn't. The sources describe a home filled with constant fighting between his parents. Physical abuse, screaming matches, just chaos.
And then the divorce happens when he's, what, 9?
Yeah, 9 years old. And crucially, he ends up in the custody of his mother, Clarnell.
And she seems to be central to this whole story. The sources describe her as toxic, dominating, even a man-hater.
And she apparently directed a lot of that negativity toward him, constantly putting him down.
Calling him good for nothing, making fun of his height, his awkwardness. I mean, he was 6'9", probably already felt self-conscious.
Exactly. And it wasn't just verbal. There was this physical rejection, too. She made him sleep in the basement.
While his sisters were upstairs?
Yep. Kept him totally separate. And she told him why, too. Said no normal girl would ever be safe near him.
Wow. Can you imagine hearing that from your own mother?
It's devastating. He later said he felt completely rejected, unwanted, hated, and that he'd just cry himself to sleep.
You can almost see the damage accumulating right there. And then we start seeing these early, really disturbing signs pop up.
Right, like cutting up his sister's dolls, moving on to animals.
He even butchered his own pet cat, apparently, and buried it.
Yeah, it's like he was starting to equate causing pain, causing death, with finding some kind of control. Power, maybe, in a powerless situation.
A way to cope, but a horrifically twisted way.
And that internal pressure, that suppressed hatred, it had to go somewhere. It eventually exploded in 1964. He was 15.
Right, he'd been sent to live with his grandparents by then, because things with Clarnell were just impossible.
Exactly. But unfortunately, his grandmother, Maud, apparently started in on him too, always commenting on his awkwardness, just like his mother.
So it was like repeating the pattern.
It seems so, and that was the trigger. August 27th, 1964. He gets his grandfather's rifle, a .22 caliber.
And he shoots his grandmother 3 times.
And then stabbed her repeatedly with a knife.
Yeah.
He actually said later he felt his years of hatred just releasing with every stab.
God. And then his grandfather.
Yeah, this is where that cold, calculating side starts to show up, even at 15. He shot his grandfather when he arrived home, out on the driveway.
But not because he hated him.
Apparently not. He said he did it because he didn't want his grandfather to walk into the house and see his wife lying dead on the kitchen floor.
Wait, just hold on. He kills someone to spare someone else the shock of seeing another murder he just committed?
It's deeply disturbing logic, isn't it? That detachment.
Yeah, that lack of, emotional chaos you'd expect. It's chilling, and this must have completely baffled the authorities.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when he confessed.
Yeah.
He called his mother, then the police, confessed everything very calmly.
And his reason. He just wanted to see what it felt like to kill.
Yeah, and showed zero guilt, no remorse whatsoever.
So what happened then? They couldn't just put a 15-year-old in regular prison for that, surely.
No. He was declared criminally insane, sent to Atascadero State Hospital, which was, for the quote-unquote criminally insane, dangerous offenders.
And diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
Initially, yes. And here's where that high IQ, the 145, becomes this massive, complicating factor, maybe even a dangerous one.
How so? You'd think being smart might help with treatment.
Well, that's the irony. At the time, psychiatric thinking often assumed, wrongly, that really high intelligence meant someone couldn't truly be a psychopath. They saw his intelligence, his ability to articulate himself, as proof of psychosis, not manipulation.
So he could basically talk his way through it.
He learned the system, He was smart enough to figure out what the doctors wanted to hear, what answers would make him look rehabilitated. He played the part.
He used his intelligence to fool them.
Pretty much, yeah. He learned to compartmentalize the rage, put on a mask, and so, incredibly, when he turned 21 in 1969,
They let him out.
released him on parole, deemed rehabilitated.
Unbelievable. And where did he go? Please don't say.
Right back into the custody of his mother, Clarnell.
No, even after everything.
He actually begged the court not to send him back there. He knew she was his trigger, but they ignored his appeal.
It just seems like a catastrophic mistake.
Yeah.
Sending him right back to the source of all that trauma and rage.
It was.
Yeah.
And it set the stage for the next horrific chapter. His time as the co-ed killer. Back living with Clarnell, that cycle of verbal abuse, the humiliation, it just started all over again.
Refilling that reservoir of anger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's this really bitter irony about what he wanted to do as an adult.
What was that?
He desperately wanted to be a police officer.
Wow. Talk about wanting control and acceptance.
Right, but he got rejected.
Reason.
Too tall, 6'9", apparently too big for the uniform.
You're kidding. Too tall.
That's what the sources say. So what does he do? He starts hanging out at a bar, popular with local cops, gets friendly with them. They knew him as Big Ed.
So he's socializing with the very people he's planning to evade.
It seems like it. And he was preparing, methodically. He called it his rehearsals.
Rehearsals? What did that involve?
Driving around picking up hitchhikers. Maybe 100, 150 of them, according to him.
And just giving them rides.
Yeah, dropping them off safely at their destinations.
Yeah.
It let him practice luring people, managing the tension, refining his approach, without actually committing the crime yet.
That's incredibly calculated. And then the rehearsals ended.
They did. May 1972. Marianne Pesse and Anita Luchesa. Hitchhikers.
How did it happen?
He picked them up, then intentionally took a wrong turn. They panicked, tried the doors.
And he'd remove the handles.
The inside handles, yeah. Trapped them.
God. And the attack itself. There was something strange there too, wasn't there?
There was. According to him, while he was handcuffing Marianne, he accidentally brushed against her breast.
Okay.
And he felt this jolt of embarrassment. He actually apologized to her.
Apologized. Mid-attack.
Yeah. But then, moments later, he suffocated and stabbed her.
Was that apology real? Or just him observing himself, like another part of the calculation?
It feels more like the latter, based on his own descriptions. He was analyzing his own reactions. And afterwards, he said he felt powerful, like he'd finally done something big.
So these women were stand-ins, surrogates for his mother.
That seems to be the core psychological driver, yes. Killing them let him symbolically kill her over and over.
And the things he did afterwards, the post-mortem acts, they're about control too.
Absolute control and silencing, it seems. Necrophilia, dismemberment. Used a butcher knife, often in his own room. Kept the heads.
As trophies.
Sometimes he'd even talk to them, like they were his mother.
That direct connection to Clarnell keeps coming up.
In really explicit ways, like with another victim, Cindy Schell. After killing her. The details are grim. He spent days with the body, dismembered her in his mother's bathtub,
In mother's tub. Jeez.
and then buried her head outside right beneath his mother's bedroom window.
Why? What was the twisted logic there?
His reasoning, his mother always wanted people to look up to her.
That is a perfect, horrifying map of his psychology. Every single act pointed back to her.
Which brings us to the climax. April 20th, 1973. He has another huge fight with Clarnell. She goes to bed.
And he waits.
He waits. Then he goes into her room with a claw hammer.
Oh, God.
He hits her again and again. The police reports describe the room as a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere, walls, ceiling.
But just killing her wasn't the end of it for him, was it?
No. That's when the ultimate rage came out, the lifetime of humiliation. He sliced her throat, decapitated her.
And this dartboard story, is that true?
He used her severed head as a symbolic dartboard, yes. And performed the same acts of oral sex on her head as he had with the other victims. It was the absolute peak of his rage and desecration.
He wanted to completely annihilate her, symbolically.
And literally silence her. He tried to put her tongue and larynx down the garbage disposal.
So voice box.
To permanently stop her torturing voice,
Yeah.
as he put it. He even noted, with that weird detachment, that her vocal cords were too tough and broke the disposal. Later, he just smashed her head like a watermelon.
It's just beyond comprehension. And then her friend shows up.
Yeah, her best friend, Sally. She came over for dinner, unaware. He strangled her too, put both bodies in a closet, left a note, and took off.
Expecting this massive manhunt.
Right. But it didn't happen right away. The police weren't on to him yet.
So what did he do?
He got frustrated, maybe? or needed that control back. He drove for a bit, then called the police himself from a payphone,
He turned himself in.
confessed to killing his mother and Sally. Later, he confessed to all the co-ed murders, too.
And his explanation for stopping.
He said, once his mother, the source of my rage, was gone, he just felt this odd emptiness. He didn't need to kill anymore. He even told the court later that killing her was the most satisfying kill.
Wow. So the trial.
Swift conviction. May 1973. 8 counts of first-degree murder. Life in prison.
And even after conviction, more disturbing details came out.
Oh, yeah. This is where his case becomes so crucial for criminal profiling. He's still alive today, by the way. Tried suicide twice in prison.
And the cannibalism?
He confessed to that, too.
Yeah.
Eating flesh from a victim's leg. Described it like chicken strips.
Just horrifying. But why was he so important to the FBI?
Because he talked.
Yes.
And because he was so intelligent. John Douglas, the famous FBI profiler.
Yeah, mind hunter guy.
Right. He called Kemper among the brightest killers they'd ever interviewed. Unlike others who make excuses, Kemper could analytically describe his thought processes, his motivations, the why behind it all.
So his high IQ, the thing that maybe let him manipulate his way out of Atascadero.
Became the very thing that provided invaluable data for understanding killers like him. He could break down his own crimes almost scientifically. It helped build the foundation for profiling organized serial killers.
And the final bizarre irony, the audiobooks.
Yeah, that one's hard to wrap your head around. While in prison, his voice, calm, articulate, professorial, was apparently considered perfect for recording audiobooks for the blind.
The co-ed killer narrating books.
It perfectly sums up that contradiction we started with, doesn't it? The smooth, intelligent surface hiding this abyss of calculated violence.
So the big takeaway for you listening, it's really about this collision, isn't it? Extreme intelligence, that 145 IQ smashing right into this overwhelming, consuming rage born from childhood trauma.
He understood why he felt the way he did, intellectually. He could fool psychiatrists. But he couldn't escape the present his mother had built inside his head. The victims were all, in his mind, just surrogates for my mom, letting him kill her again and again.
It forces you to think about how deep trauma can twist even the brightest mind towards violence.
And it leaves us with a really difficult, provocative question, I think. If someone like Kemper, with his high intelligence, knew the psychological reasons for his rage, maybe better than anyone, but he still chose these horrific actions, does that kind of analytical self-awareness make someone more dangerous because they can rationalize and plan so effectively? Or does it just strip away any self-deception, forcing them and us to confront the pure darkness of their motives without any filters?
That's a heavy thought to end on. Does understanding the why make it worse or just clearer?
Something to definitely mull over.